Movie Christmas. My name is Dave, and this is episode 2 of the Screen Anarchy MindFrames Holiday Gift Guide for 2019. Behind the camera is MindFrames co-host Mike Cockrell. Say hi, Mike.
Hey.
And he has graciously come over to my apartment so that we can make these videos that tell you all about things that we have been really excited about this year in the home entertainment world and in the world of genre geekery stuff that you can wear and watch and put on walls and do all sorts of stuff with. I'm going to start by saying something, and that is that it can be really hard to go through everything that comes out in a year and say these are the 10 best 4Ks, or these are the 10 best box sets, or these are the 10 best of this, or 10 best of that. It can even be hard to winnow it down into lesser numbers. So what I've decided this year is basically just to tell you about the things that excited me. If you're out there and you're like me and you like really odd movies or upgrades of classic movies, special editions and things like that, I think these are all movies any gift or any movie lover would love to have under the tree. First up is I was so excited to get sent a copy of Apocalypse Now Final Cut. Mike and I actually covered Apocalypse Now on our podcast MindFrames in talking about the movies of
The summer of 79.
The summer of 79. I see how old I'm getting. So to get this in 4K, it's 6 discs. You get all the different cuts of the film. It's got gorgeous packaging. I'm real anal about my packaging. I like to save it. And then you get it on Blu-ray, you get it on 4K. You get Hearts of Darkness, the documentary that Francis Ford Coppola's wife shot during the production. You're just, tons of special features. This would be probably my first pick for movies I was super excited about this year. Also in the pile, bare bones release, sadly. No special features on this, but it's The Witches, the movie based on the Roald Dahl children's book, starring Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean himself, as well as Angelica Houston. This was directed by the great Nicholas Reg, who also has another movie in the pile here I'm going to show you. And it's never been available in a good format. And here it is all spruced up on Blu-ray. I'm super excited to watch this over the holidays. It's a Warner Archive collection. It's imaginative, it's scary, and it's the kind of movie that you should definitely show kids when they get to be at that age where they can handle that kind of thing. It's a really good introduction to genre entertainment in general for kids. Here's the other Nicholas Reg film. This is a version of Don't Look Now put out by Studio Canal, and it is European, but it's, I believe, region free. Yeah, the 4K HD is region A, B, and C. The standard Blu-ray is region B. But it's got a ton of extra features on it. It's got a beautiful collector's booklet. It's got a great big poster. Sadly, not the original film artwork. They opted for new artwork that I thought was okay. But, of course, the real star of the film is the film. And you get these beautiful lobby cards. And they really did send some good ones. These are some beautiful images from the film. There's one of, there's the sisters. See if there's one of the gargoyle. Yeah, there's Donald Sutherland staring at the gargoyle that looks a lot like him on the church. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. So this obviously spruces up the version of the film that you get on Criterion if you go and get that version of the film. But it also has the original soundtrack. So really, I think it one-ups Criterion. There's all sorts of new features on it. You could spend hours and hours and hours watching this stuff. And there's that gorgeous dark passageway that the film takes you to in the final moments. As it makes a ghost out of Venice. Great version of that movie. Shining on 4K. Do I need to say anything else? This film ain't never looked any better than this. And if you'd have told me there would be a better looking version of The Shining someday, I would have been like, you know, who needs that much better looking of a version of The Shining? I'm a huge fan of the film, but this is great. Warner just does a fantastic job with their 4K releases, and I'm you know, sure anybody who's a Kubrick fan or a fan of horror movies would love that upgrade of a 4K version. Of course, you do get a Blu-ray with it. Most 4Ks these days do come with a Blu-ray, and nifty art on the Blu-ray case, by the way. This is really cool. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I'm super excited about it. It's The Cotton Club, but it's been edited by Francis Ford Coppola. So what you have here is a version of the film that's 139 minutes long, and it basically is, you know, set in the world of the 1930s in the legendary Cotton Club, and it's full of the music and the panache of the era, and, you know, tough guys and zoot suits and everything else. You want to see this movie before you die. This is one of those movies, and the fact that Coppola has finally gotten to go rework it after it was tampered with by the studio upon original release is a real exciting thing. Here's some stuff you probably will be surprised to hear about. Fritz Lang made a couple of movies that are under the rubric of the Indian epic. They are The Tiger of Estinapur and The Indian Tomb. And you can tell just by looking at that art what they may have influenced. These movies were a primary influence on the Indiana Jones films. And they were made in the late 1950s. They are amazing. I cannot recommend them enough. They're cheesy. They're thrilling. They absolutely are vibrant with color, and they just have a lot of entertainment value. Really, really, really fun for anybody who enjoys movies of that period. Finally, we get a version of Clute. This movie has been rumored to be coming out for a long time from various studios. The release of it always wound up getting kiboshed. Thank heavens it fell into Criterion's wheelhouse. They've done a magnificent job restoring it. It's basically a police procedural psycho thriller drama, and goes places that you won't expect. It in some ways is a film that achieves most of what it achieves in its quietest moments, and is very haunting, even I think more than it is disturbing. It's definitely the kind of film you'll find yourself revisiting over and over and over again, and considered one of the finest films of the 1970s, made in 1971. Clute on the Criterion Collection, spine number 987. This is called VIY, I believe it's pronounced V. And it is a Russian film made in the 1960s that deals with occultic folklore around a witch and her attempt to rise from the dead as she's watched over by a monk. It is a movie I had never heard of, and then when I saw it, I thought, how have I never heard of this? This is delightful. This is something I want to show every kid that I see. This is the kind of movie I wish I'd have seen when I was watching, growing up on the movies of Ray Harryhausen and Bird-Eye Gordon and stuff like The Magic Sword and stuff like that. This is a really well-known movie. You know, it's probably not too far off to call it a masterpiece. It comes from Severin, and I'm super grateful they sent it along. I'm going to be letting you know about some of their other releases. While I've got you on the hook thinking about Severin, though, I don't have a copy of it, but go out as soon as it comes out in the middle of December and get yourself a copy of the Peanut Butter Solution. That's all I'm going to say. Buy it and just enjoy the weirdness that it throws at you. It is one of those kids' movies that will make you wonder how it got made. Fantastic stuff. All right, last three movies. Toys Are Not for Children. I love movies that make me squirm. And this is a movie that, I'll just read you the back. Psychological trauma and aberrant sexuality abound in this twisted 1972 tale of a young woman whose severe daddy issues send her on an unforgettably bleak downward spiral. Yearning for the love of her absentee father, Jamie inhabits an infantilized world surrounded by toys, including those which her wayward pops bizarrely continues to send her. Unable to consummate her new marriage with dashing colleague Charlie, Jamie's chance encounter with aging sex worker Paul leads her into the murky world of prostitution where her most disturbing erotic fantasies begin to play out. Now this sounds like the kind of movie that you...
What's the rating on this one?
Probably would want to show your grandmother. But the truth is, as with most exploration movies, you don't get what you think you're going to get. And that's one of the delights about it. It really is right alongside other movies of the period like The Baby, which is about an infantilized adult man who lives in a crib watched over by these three weird women in his house. You watch it and your jaw is on the floor. It probably makes you think of more than it should based on its wonky premise. And it's just one of those great surreal 70s horror films that you need to go out and avail yourself of if you like that kind of thing. Well worth seeing. It's on Arrow Video, so this is definitely a step up from the labels that sort of just like, you know, try to take everything from that period and say that it's an unheralded gem. This really is a movie you want to see. Also, and this is really my pick for the movie that excited me the most. This is an actual 4K copy of Suspiria. Suspiria is a very important 1970s horror film. If you've never heard of it, this is the version of it you want to see. Very few films have been gone over with a fine-tooth restorative comb the way that Don May did with Suspiria. It's toured the country. People are absolutely floored by it in the way it looks, and you really aren't going to get a better version of the film ever. Comes with all the special features that Synapse has produced for the other version of the film. There is a steelbook of this film, but it's not 4K. And so I actually own 3 copies of this film, one signed by Dario Argento, one that's the steelbook, and then this one. And I'm never getting rid of any of them. They're all 3 little masterworks of home entertainment released in their own right. Lastly, I'll give you a special mention. The American Genre Film Archive has been rescuing a lot of movies, and oftentimes they're movies that just sort of survive by the skin of their teeth because they never found an audience to begin with, and AGFA happens to be able to see them and go, yeah, this is really weird, and people ought to have the opportunity to see it and enjoy it. This is not one of those movies. These are movies that ought to have the widest possible audience, in my opinion. They're Wakaliwood movies. And Wakaliwood is a place in Uganda where the poor make movies in their neighborhoods with whatever they have to make movies with. What they don't have money to make movies with. They don't have fancy software. They don't have all the props they need. And so their movies are full of wonky computer special effects, and oftentimes they're action movies, as are both of these, Bad Black and Who Killed Captain Alex. And they are a delight. They're a joy. They will make you smile. They will make you laugh. And there's a lot of special features on here that will give you a really good idea of why these movies are taking off and being embraced by fans from all over the world. One of the great things, too, about Look Hollywood Cinema is VJs do talks over the movies. And so you have the option to listen to some wild-eyed VJ screaming the plot of the movie at you as you watch the movie. It's an experience like you've never had, and it's really at its best kind of communal and really sweet and wonderful. And it just makes you want to cheer. It's really, really, really fun stuff. Comes highly recommended. Look Hollywood Volume 1, Welcome to Uganda. You get Black, and Who Killed Captain Alex. All right, on to the box sets of the year. I am not including one box set that's going to be in the very last episode for reasons you will see in a minute. Instead, I'm just going to tell you about the box sets that excited me. This is the Fly box set from the Shout Factory. As you can see, beautiful art. Every single disc has fantastic art. Yes, there are actually 5 Fly movies. 3 from the 50s and 2. One of them by David Cronenberg and another one, the sequel, directed by Chris Wallace. And all of them are a lot of fun. Actually, The Fly and Return of the Fly are great, and David Cronenberg's remake of The Fly is great. Fly 2 and Return of the Fly are more curiosity pieces for genre fans, but great art, new commentaries, lots of extras on this box set, and I think it looks really handsome and can replace all those single discs that you maybe have flying around. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Folks, Waterworld, 3 versions of the film, including one that I think is over 3 hours long, put out by our good friends at Arrow in conjunction with Universal. Big sturdy box. The world's crappiest cover art on this thing. I love it. If you want, you can go with the cover art that's on the box. I went with the crappy cover art because it's so fun. 3 discs. Mine is falling apart because I've actually watched it that often because it's so goofy. Lots of cards. Set of cards comes with the movie. And, if I'm not mistaken, a poster. Yes. Yes, folks. You know you need it for your walls. A two-sided Waterworld poster is the original poster art. Here's their poster art. I just don't know what to say. If you've never seen Waterworld, you get your feet wet. This is the way to do it. This box set right here. Likewise, American Werewolf in London. You see again, I kept the plastic on. Same deal. Incredible box set. Lots of new extras. Full feature length. I think there's 2 feature length documentaries on this thing. You get a big poster. You get a big booklet. And you get, if you want, the original poster art and cards. Arrow did this also with RoboCop this year. They've done it with Hills Have Eyes. They've done it with Hills Have Eyes 2. I snag these things whenever I can because they're just so fun to keep around. Also, did we need this? I felt like we needed this. We did a good job with it. It's the Omen, Screen Factory, Shout Factory, putting out the Omen. There was a version of this you could order with a poster. I got sent the box. Again, nice sturdy box. And you get all the Omen movies. How many Omen movies, Dave, do you say? Do I get? You get the original Omen. You get Damien, Omen 2. You get Damien, the final conflict with Sam Harris, dueling with a painting of Jesus at the end of the movie. Or is it a crucifix on a wall? I can't remember. Dueling Jesus. You need this. Then you get the made-for-TV Omen movie, The Awakening, and the truly awful, I can't believe they made this and released it, remake of The Omen, which is just not a good movie. But at least you get them all in one spot. They all have special features. Most of them have new special features on them. Really, really worth getting if you're a fan and you don't have the movies. All right, 3 more to go. This is the Abbott and Costello Universal Pictures Collection. You get all 28 Abbott and Costello films. The reason I was happy to get this, besides hours and hours and hours of special features that are on it, is that you get all the monster films in one spot. And I don't know if they've ever been, available that way. I don't know if I've mentioned it. All these, of course, are Blu-rays. All these things I've been talking about. And this is no different. And you get a big booklet with it. And it's just a really nice box set. And Abbott and Costello, good stuff. You can pick it up now. I would predict it might come down in price a little bit. A lot of these older comedy collections do come down in price later, since they're even more of a niche market for some folks than just some of the genre stuff. But a really well put together, nice thick box. This is phenomenal. When I heard this was coming out, I almost died. I have these movies from when they were released on VCD and sold in various Asian markets here in the Chicago area. That's how I first saw the Ring movies. To have them available on beautifully remastered Blu-rays with reversible artwork and a beautiful booklet and tons of new special features from Arrow. This was originally released overseas and it was a UK only set, and then a couple of months later they were able to release it in the States. So I'm just pleased as punch. That was another thing with a lot of my Ring movies, is they weren't USA friendly, or you had to order them from overseas and the quality could be kind of dodgy. This is all of that stuff. And you also get a 4th movie. You get the Ring Virus. You get Spiral, George Aida's 1998 sequel to Ringo. And really most of the features on here are new. So good stuff. Last but not least, in the world of box sets, usually I like to think of a box set as being more than one movie. It has to at least be a number of movies in a particular franchise. But I think that Shout Factory has been knocking these out of the park. And I'm probably going to pick them up as they come out because I love Studio Ghibli so much. Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, and My Neighbor Totoro. What do you get in these? These beautiful cardboard boxes, a great booklet, and then you get these storybook-like housings with the movie and a soundtrack to all 3 of those movies. If you haven't seen these movies, I could literally tell you to just go out and buy them. They are 3 of the most important anime films ever made, and will tell you almost everything you need to know about Studio Ghibli to decide if you want to keep watching their films.
Not available anywhere for streaming either.
Nope.
You must buy these box sets.
No.
Or rent, or go to the library.
No. You can get them in various formats all over the place. But I don't think you can get them in a format this fun unless you buy them overseas.
You
Great
cannot
stuff.
stream them for sure.
You cannot stream them. Disney now is in control of a lot of that material, and I would be very, very surprised if they don't do what Disney usually does, which is to treat them like they're at a premium. Thanks for turning in. A little bit longer of an episode, but I hope I gave you some ideas. In the next episode, we're going to have our B-Movie Christmas, where we talk about some wonderful stuff from in the world of Hammer, the world of Universal, and from the wonderful folks at Kino. Thanks for popping in. Movie Christmas, and we'll see you later.